I'm really concerned about something, and in talking about it, I have no doubt that some of my left wing friends, some of the more radical of those who tend to agree with me on most of what I say, will very definitely disagree. And I might find myself in the unusual position of actually getting comments and even hate mail from both the right and the left for this one. But that's what happens when you try to be balanced, I suppose. Um, I want to talk about some of the sequelae, some of the things that have come about as a result of George Floyd's killing in America and the Black Lives Matter protests. That, of course, are absolutely, in my view, legitimate. I do believe that there is a problem both in this country and abroad, and particularly in America and some other countries, where people who aren't white like I am, be they any other colour, so I'm just going to say black, but that's a broad church in this context, are treated differently by authorities, by the police, and in general. And I absolutely agree with the protest about that, and I absolutely agree that we need to stop being so bloody complacent and start accepting that there is such a thing as white privilege. In 55 years living in this country, I have never once had to endure a stop and search. I've never been accused of being a drug dealer. I've never been in a position where I was turned down for a job or for a college place because of the colour of my skin. My issue with not so much the Black Lives Matter protests themselves, but with what's spinning from that is violence against the police. I am well aware that there are some dodgy coppers. I am also well aware that people assaulting policemen is unlikely to be targeting those dodgy coppers, and also that we need, as a society, we need a police force. I have some anarchist friends, and they're good people. I just disagree with this particular aspect of their belief system. They have this lovely idea that everybody will be lovely and nice and care for each other without a police force. That's not my experience of human nature. I think that whilst people are essentially good to their own, so people are generally fair and reasonable with their friends and with their family and with people who live on their street, or maybe people from their town, or whatever it may be. But that courtesy, that respect and that decency, that fairness doesn't tend to extend to everyone. It's usually very insular. And to go around randomly battering police has two obvious problems. One is you're unlikely to be targeting the people who are actually being either racist or abusive or unfair, or, their police brutality exists, but you're unlikely to be attacking the copper that does it. And the other thing is it will undermine the rule of law that our society really does depend upon. Now, I don't know what the solution to the problems facing black people are. I genuinely don't, and I'm not going to pretend to. For one thing, I don't experience it. My skin colour bars me, in one sense, from really understanding that perspective. But it doesn't bar me from understanding what my society needs, whatever colour a person is. And it needs a decent, fair police force and decent, fair legislation. Now, we don't have 100% either of those right now. There are problems in both, and they need to be addressed. But I really don't think we will address those problems by attacking folk who are just trying to do their jobs, which will in itself create a particularly firm backlash from the powers that be, which is, of course, the government, the police force, and if that doesn't work, the army. And make no mistake, This government's not above sending the army on the streets to shoot people. Those of you who go around attacking police, let me make 2 points to you very clearly. 1, you're probably attacking the wrong people. And 2, you're going to lose. And as a result of that conflict, which you will lose, society will become harder, not just for you, but for all of us. Do not randomly attack people just because they happen to wear a uniform that they probably put on this morning because they want to make the world better, not because they're racist fuckwits. So, there we go. That's my 2 pence. It's an attempt at balance. I know I'm going to get a backlash from both the left and the right for this, but sorry, that's what I think. Stop being so bloody black and white, if you'll forgive the pun. There's an awful lot of grey areas. There's a lot of nuance here.